This is an interesting vehicle. It's a 1988 Ford LTD Country Squire Wagon. I think the technical name is LTD Crown Victoria Country Squire, but I'm not entirely certain. It's weird how the nomenclature worked on these things back then, and I still don't fully understand it today. This particular example, and sorry for the constant dog barking sounds. This is why I'm not a fan of people who live in residential areas who have 16 dogs, and that's not an exaggeration. They're breeding dogs over there, so they're barking nonstop. But anyway, sorry for that. This is an interesting vehicle. It's got wear spots here from someone opening up the doors. I keep enough spare fluids in this thing just in case anything happens. And that's my spare sweatshirt. Fun fact, if you own a Country Squire wagon, sweaters like this will materialize out of nowhere. So that way you always have a sweater with you. And you will encourage other people to take sweaters as well whenever they go anywhere. Now, it's got the unique feature of the multi-point opening tailgate, which, as you can see, slides out that way, and then if you put the tailgate or the window glass down, you can open it this way and fold it down. I've tested that. It does work. There's a lot of little dents and dings here. Broken taillight lens. Scuffing. Damaged marker light. But, amazingly, the grille is in perfect condition. This is a very weird vehicle. I'll take you inside now. See a lot of sun fading because it's a Texas car. It has been its whole life. And that 44,000 miles on it, that's not 144. That is 44,000. It came from a living estate. And there's some sun cracks here to the dash. But, yeah, that's just the way this car is down here. Anytime they sit, and this thing just sat outside, but little placard from them taking it to a car show in 2019. It's just so interesting because, again, living estate. The paperwork that came with it, all of the information, purchase here, owner warranty card from August 2nd, 1988. Service manual. I took out any, or sorry, that's a stereo manual. Took out any identifying things from the last owner. But no, if it weren't for that, I would not have believed this is an original low mileage vehicle. But you can see the hood release is still intact, the brake release. These levers break on these cars with use. And when I got the thing, you may have seen my little preview video about the plastic headlights. I've replaced them. They were the factory original headlights. No vehicle like this goes 144,000 miles on the original headlights. That just doesn't happen. Then you get under the hood. There's information here for being serviced in Dallas. Again, Texas car its entire life. AC system This is when it was converted to 134. This was done in the early 90s. You'll note that this sticker does not have an email address. Now, I've been working on this thing a fair bit to try and get it to where it's reliable. I've had to replace the power steering hose, new alternator. I had to rewire the alternator to make sure that it's safe. Terminals are cleaned. New battery held down by the official bungee strap tie down. New solenoid. But all of the evidence on this vehicle indicates that it's 44,000 original miles. I mean, look at the bracketry for these components. How clean the power steering bracket is. Bracket here. The little rubber dust cap for the spark plugs. All of the Ford stickers. It's been maintained. And again, documentation that I'm not going to show fully supports that. But I've had to do some things. Like it's got a new set of these Phantom tires, 225/70/15. That's the cop spec size that I put on this car because the originals on it were 25 years old. And yeah, that had to be dealt with. Gas door. This vehicle, though, oh, there's more of the dents I was talking about. Dent here, dent here. Yeah, right now I look like the type of person who would own a 1988 Ford station wagon. I'm not sure if that's a good thing. The seats fold down. They're in good shape. Under here, you will see in excellent condition and with no rust, the well for these weird little pop-up seats. Now, my parents never had a wagon like this when I was a kid. I don't have the nostalgia for it that a lot of people do. But I understand that's part of why they're popular. And I even got a new spare tire for it just because no tire place stocks tire sizes for this vehicle anymore. Which is very interesting. But it has a nice custom exhaust. And I'll show you. It's catalytic converter delete, which is pretty dang cool. See, amazing, immaculate condition underneath this vehicle. Look at these rockers. It's really... Alright, that's the factory plastic trim from the wood grain. It's really an amazing shape. Excellent vehicle, and that's why I picked it up. Because this is not the type of vehicle I would normally buy. I don't know who these cars were marketed towards. It's a 1988, but it doesn't look like an 88 because this design came out in 79. And apart from the front end update, which this was the first year of it, these things were unchanged. It's as much a 70s car as it is an 80s car, and it doesn't really feel much like either. Because my daily driver is the 1978 Mercedes diesel. That feels like a 70s car. This doesn't. It drives like you'd expect out of any Panther platform vehicle. I mean, the door seals are what they are. This one with the driver's side, how it has some tears and doesn't seal the best. It has as much wind noise as a Tri-County chili cook-off. But yeah, this thing is just remarkably clean. If you're into that level of a patina or sort of rat rod station wagon, this thing is absolutely perfect. But let's get behind the wheel now. Yeah, no tears in the seats. All the little covers are missing for the lights there. Weird, but tolerable. The mirror has that horrible spot. But, okay. I'll grab the keys. Put them in my pocket. And you'll notice, because I'm driving a country Squire wagon, I'm wearing brown corduroy. Again, certain things you just kind of have to do when you have a vehicle like this. And it's the type of car where, honestly, I want to hate it because it doesn't really do anything particularly well, but it's also not offensive. That 5.0 is not motor. And yeah, the clock is correct. The date is correct. It's an interesting vehicle. Now, the gear select indicator does not work. Horn does, but she'll throw you back in your seat pretty dang good. I don't mind that. Yeah, that's the noise of that spare tire kind of rattling around in it. That's always been a little bit of a problem. But we're going to get into position, lined up back here, and I'll show you how this thing goes. Okay. Now, we're at a dead stop. Let's see what she does. It's not bad. And yeah, she'll do a burnout. Not bad, single wheel peel, because not even a limited slip diff on this car. Fascinating thing. Again, it drives well. It's very comfortable. The shock absorbers need to be replaced, but it doesn't do anything badly. It's just such a weird vehicle that I want to find something to dislike about it, but I can't. It's comfortable. It drives well and has a great sound. See? I mean, that is absolutely perfect. It sounds nice, runs great, and how do you hate something like this? It's an absolutely perfect patina wagon. All of the glass, too, is great. I wish it did have the vent windows that the earlier ones did, but, you know, this is going to be one of those vehicles that'll be interesting to sell. I'm going to use it for what I need and drive it around quite a bit, because my normal winter driver, my Lincoln Town Car, just recently got taken out by a deer, which means this car, with its little bit of surface rust and wagon patina, will now be a daily driver. But works well. The only things so far I've found that don't work are the cruise control, and the stereo has this bizarre feature. See, where it has no concept of volume. But so far I've put, hang on. There, that's nice. I've put 269 miles on this vehicle since I've owned it. And dealing with the paperwork too of the living estate has been an interesting challenge. I finally got a clean and clear title for it, so when I'm done using it as a daily driver, it'll go up for sale, but it's just so weird. I like the maroon color of it. Again, you see the typical Texas sun fade on everything. But yeah, headliner's great. I mean, it's an 88 Country Squire Wagon. I don't know, just such a weird car. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. I'll have more interesting vehicles for you next time, but for now, I hope you enjoyed this and found it as fascinating as I did.